Hello, Henry. I'm Jose. I'm going to try to explain you how to configure this document. It's not an easy document, so I will start now. First, we open the document. And I'm going to use this wizard here. First step is set the document title. So I'm going to select this as the document title. Now we need some detection text to detect the document next time we open it. So I'm going to add this text, some line from the document. They must be lines that make this document unique. Okay, I add these 3 lines and I'm going to test if the template detection is okay. That now looks okay. Okay, so I'm going to start to add labeled data. You can add lefty labeled fields or top labeled fields. In this case, as you can see, are lefty labeled fields. This is a lefty labeled field too. These two, and the member total is a lefty labeled field too. Okay, after adding the fields, you can test the results. Okay, sometimes, like in this case, you can see that is getting the label member, but is also getting the member total. So you can add filters to the labels to ignore results. So I want to ignore total when the label member is found. So if I execute again, now you can see that the member total is gone. Okay, now you can adjust the tab size. I'm using a tab size of about 9 to improve the labeled data capture. So this field has a small tab size, but in this case it is a little bit bigger. So I change the tab size and execute the template again to check if the fields looks okay. As you can see, there it is generating a lot of fields, one for each instance of the font field. Now we are done with the labeled fields, and we are going to start to configure the grid. Okay, so first step is to add the document headers, the grid headers. You can zoom the image with the mouse wheel and the control key, so you can view the full document. And I'm going to start to add the headers. In this case, this is header 1, header line 1. I click on the line to convert it to a header. Okay, this is uh, the start marks that you can see here. They are regular expressions, so you can change anything here if it is changing between different instances of the document. And now next step is add the grid stop reading marks. So I can see that this grid is stopping here in the member total. Okay, this is the regular expression for member total, so I want to stop reading the grid when I found this text. I'm going to remove this part because the this amount can change. So we only want the static test. So we are going to stop in a line starting by member total. Okay, now we can review. Okay, I can see that I need to add another stop mark here. Again, when we found a line starting by page, I'm going to remove this part to make the parser stop on the lines. Okay, in your document I found this line, that what I'm going to do is ignore it. I don't know what it is, but we can add and ignore for these lines. So I'm going to select the text I want to ignore. Okay, so I want to ignore this line. You can make a regular expression if you want, if you found these lines on different documents. Okay, so now I see that I'm missing some lines here because looks it don't have headers. When changing from page to page, I'm going to take a look to the document. Okay, I can see here that when the document, when the page is changing, we don't have a new header here. So I'm going to tell to start reading after this text too. So I click on the start reading mark, and I want to start reading here. Okay, now I have these lines, but I must add an ignore line here. So when starting by member, and you can ignore the lines, but it's not really necessary because we are not going to read this data. So now I'm going to execute and start to view how this looks. Okay, after adding the start stop reading marks, then I click to go to the next step, and I'm going to start to configure lines. Okay, so we need to tell the system how the lines looks to start to reading. So I'm going to add a line here when the patient number is not null. Okay, so I click the edit line. Okay, I can click on select from the editor. I'm going to select the patient number. Okay, and I will tell directly here that the selection is not empty. Clicking here, so and this line color is going to be yellow. Okay, so I remove the results view because I'm configuring and I see that I select too much text. I'm going to select just this column. Selection is not empty. Okay. This is a line class. We have two line classes here. Okay, so this is line class 1, and I'm going to add another line class. I select this text, and I'm going to create a new line class, a blue one, when the selection from character 26 to 135 is not empty. So the action, in this case, the line action is going to append fields to the previous records of the class line, the previous class line. Okay, so the blue lines are going to add info to the yellow lines. I see that we still have some coded lines here, so I'm going to add new. I ignore, so I'm going to select this, and I'm going to make this a regular expression, so something like anything that starts with 7 characters plus this symbol is going to be ignored. Okay, so now we can remove this one. Okay, and execute and view. Now we have two lines, the line 1 and the line 2. I'm going to configure line 1 columns. This is the data we are going to read, and for that you can click on the auto create columns, or in this case I'm going to do it manually. Okay, so I'm going to start to add columns for line 1. Just click on add columns and select the columns. You must select with enough space. Okay, so this is procedure, C unit, shares, diag, F3, position, payment, payment type. Okay, now I'm going to execute the table, and now I start to see the data. So now we want to add the nodes to the line 1. So I go to line 2, and I'm going to create a new column for this kind of lines. So this name is the name, the column name we want to add to the previous line. So this is going to be nodes, and I want to capture all text in these lines. Okay, so now I can execute again, and I should see I'm checking the line. So Okay, so I open merge fields to previous record of clients. Line is okay. Okay, I'm going to save the change and test again. Okay, now we can see the line 2 node that is added as a new field to table 1 line passing, and we can check that both line has been added. Okay, so now we can start. Oh, sorry, this is in my debug computer. Okay, so now we can start to configure the output. Okay, so we have some grid lines and some field lines. Some of these fields are constant, are not going to change in the document, but other like the member and the alt ID should be changed to add as a detail for items on next lines. Okay, these are these fields. Okay, alt ID, ID, and member that is going to set value to these rows. And the header one are these that set a value for all the rows in the document. Okay, so the alt ID as a detail and the ID items on next lines. And if we check the member total is the opposite, so it will give value to the previous rows. Okay, so we must tell the system that member total is going to give a value to the detail items on previous lines. Okay, so we can save the change now, and we can preview the results. Okay, so okay, now everything looks okay, so you can rename your output to make it looks a little bit better. So I'm removing this text. These are going to be the names on the final Excel file. Okay, so you can set any name, just make sure that is not duplicated. Okay, save the change, and now the conversion is ready. Okay, so you can check if the columns are okay, and in case they aren't, you can go and adjust the columns. Okay, so we can check if the patient number is okay, and everything looks okay to me now. Okay. Okay, so that's all. I know that this is not really easy configuration, but you can get an idea of how it works.